Jane was a hard-working woman, but life hadn't been kind to her. She grew up in a small town with her parents and three siblings. Money was always tight, and her parents struggled to provide for the family. It was a tough childhood, but it taught Jane the value of hard work and perseverance. After finishing high school, Jane moved to the city in search of better opportunities. She worked odd jobs to make ends meet, and eventually she landed a job as a waitress at a local diner. It wasn't an ideal job, but it paid the bills and put food on the table. A few years later, Jane met Peter, a kind and charming man who swept her off her feet. They fell in love and got married, and soon after they welcomed their first child, a beautiful baby girl named Lily. Jane was over the moon with joy, and Peter couldn't have been happier. But as time passed, Peter's true colors started to show. He had a gambling problem, and he would often spend their hard-earned money at the casino. Jane tried to talk to him about it, but he would always brush her off and promise that he would change. However, things only got worse, and before she knew it, they were drowning in debt. Jane was a dedicated mom and worked long hours at the diner to make sure that Lily had everything she needed. She would often come home exhausted, but seeing her daughter's smiling face made it all worth it. The little family was struggling, but they had each other, and that's all that mattered. One day, Peter disappeared, leaving Jane and Lily alone with no money and a mountain of debt. Jane was devastated and didn't know what to do. She reached out to her friends and family for help, but no one was in a position to assist her. She was on her own, with a toddler to take care of and bills piling up. With no other options, Jane started working double shifts at the diner, barely getting any sleep. She would come home late at night, only to wake up a few hours later to do it all over again. It was a grueling routine, but she had no choice. She was desperate to provide for Lily and give her a better life. Despite her best efforts, things only got worse. The landlord threatened to evict them if they didn't pay the rent, and their electricity was at risk of being cut off. Jane didn't know where to turn, and she felt like she was failing as a mom. One day, as she was walking home from work, Jane saw a flyer for a well-paying job at a local factory. Without hesitation, she applied for the position and, to her surprise, she got the job. Finally, things were starting to look up. The new job allowed Jane to work regular hours and spend more time with Lily. It was still hard, but it was a step in the right direction. She managed to catch up on some of the bills, and for the first time in a long time, she felt a glimmer of hope. As Lily grew older, Jane made sure to instill in her the same values of hard work and determination that she had learned as a child. She wanted her daughter to know that no matter how tough things got, she could overcome any obstacle with perseverance and resilience. Years went by, and Lily graduated from high school with flying colors. Jane was beaming with pride, knowing that all her sacrifices had been worth it. She had raised a strong, independent young woman, and nothing made her happier. One day, as Jane was leaving work, she received a call from Lily. She sounded excited and told her mom that she had been accepted into one of the top universities in the country. Jane couldn't believe it. Her daughter was going to college, something that seemed impossible just a few years ago. As Jane watched Lily pack her bags and leave for college, she couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. Despite all the hardships and struggles, she had managed to give her daughter the opportunity for a better future. It was a bittersweet moment, but she knew that it was all worth it. Now, as Jane sat in her small apartment, she looked back on her life and realized just how far she had come. She was no longer the poor, struggling mom she once was. She had faced adversity head-on and had come out stronger on the other side. As the years went by, Jane watched with pride as Lily graduated from college and started her own successful career. And in her quiet moments, she would often think back to those challenging times and feel grateful for the strength and resilience that had gotten her through it all. Jane knew that she had not only provided for her daughter, but had also given her a valuable lesson in the power of perseverance and determination. And for that she would forever be grateful.